Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about the newest, greatest, and very interesting bike from Cannondale, and it's gonna be the newest Cannondale Synapse Carbon 2 RLE road bike. But before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that little like button, because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, then definitely thank you. So, the newest Cannondale Synapse bike range for the 2022 season. You probably know that Cannondale in the past has really led the development of some very exciting technologies in bike industry. I mean, personally, one of my favorites is their lefty fork on the carbon fiber on the cross-country mountain bikes. This was a really stunning piece of engineering, still in use today. But with this Cannondale Synapse new range, Cannondale is introducing their SmartSense technology. So this is all about implementing the lights on the bike and the radar, believe it or not, connected through a battery in the bike. So I will explain a little bit more these details when we dive into the specifications of this bike, but this is definitely a secret sauce of this bike, and there is nothing else on the market like this SmartSense radar plus smart lighting system. Now let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So Cannondale Synapse is an absolute legend when it comes to comfortable road bikes. This is, almost like a definition of an endurance road bike, comfortable road bike, long days in the saddle. So if you are in the market for this type of the bike, you should definitely check Cannondale Synapse Carbon 2 bike. Retail price of this bike is $5,500, so definitely not a cheap bike, but as I say, when we dive into the specifications, we'll really see what do you get, and then at the end I will tell you should you buy this bike or should you just consider it. One other good thing is that there are two paint schemes on offer. There is this very classical metallic grey with a hint of black, very decent paint scheme, and then there is this blue, all cool mint paint scheme, as they call it. Very nice paint scheme, and I would probably go with this cool mint paint scheme. But I'm glad that Cannondale is offering two paint schemes on this $5,500 bike. So now let's talk about the specifications of this bike and really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. As always, let's kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Cannondale with the SmartSense technology. This carbon fiber frame has surprisingly a threaded bottom bracket from Shimano, which is absolutely superb. It has a internal cable routing, flat mount disc brakes, and also you can mount you have a hidden rack and fender mounts, which is again absolutely superb. When it comes to the fork, again carbon fiber fork from Cannondale with the 12mm through axles, so 12mm through axles front and back, and also flat mount disc brakes. And of course you can mount a fender also to the fork. So I have to say that frame and the fork with this Cannondale Synapse absolutely superb. I have no complaints, and also keep in mind that Cannondale offers you a lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frames and forks. As I was mentioning here, a SmartSense technology. So this is the secret sauce of this bike. And what is it all about? So you have a battery here on the down tube of this bike. The battery sits externally, which I think is very nice and okay. It's easy to remove and swap and charge. And of course this battery is powering the lights at the front of the bike and also the lights at the back of the bike, but also at the back you have an integrated radar system on this bike. So this radar system can kind of inform you about the traffic around you, behind you, and it can display let's call it, like a traffic on some kind of, on-board computer, depending what are you using. So it's a pretty unique system, and it's definitely novel on the market. Nobody else is doing something like this. I have a sneaky suspicion that this system might really take off, and Cannondale, as a leader in this technology, can really reap all the benefits from the beginning. So very, very interesting system. As I said again, a highlight on this carbon fiber frame is definitely that they've switched to the threaded bottom bracket from Shimano, which is absolutely superb. So now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike. So what do you get? So when it comes to the shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is superb Shimano's Ultegra Di2 electronic group set. This is the newest, greatest Ultegra Di2. So it's a 12-speed group set, semi-wireless group set, and this means that basically the shifters are wirelessly communicating with the front mech, and then from the front mech to the rear mech you have cables connected and a battery which communicates between these two units. So it's a very neat and nice solution from Shimano, and it's gonna absolutely work perfectly fine. I have no complaints about this Shimano's Ultegra Di2 system, the newest one, R8100. When we look at the chain and the crankset, so the chain is the Shimano's Ultegra chain, 12-speed chain, no cutting corners here. The crankset is again Shimano's Ultegra crankset, as I said, with a threaded bottom bracket, 50-34 chain rings, and this is paired with the cassette, which again Shimano Ultegra, no cutting corners, and this is 11-34 cassette. This is what I like to see, 11-34 cassette, very wide range, and this is all about, as I said, long days in the saddle and endurance road bike. Absolutely superb combination, no complaints here. When we look at the braking system on this bike, again you are getting a superb Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, 160mm rotors both front and the back, and these are the Shimano's Ultegra RT800 rotors with Ice Tech Ice Freeza technology, top notch, absolutely no complaints here. Now let's talk about the wheel set on the bike. So this is, you are getting a Fulcrum Rapid Red 500 wheel set. So you see this Rapid Red 500 wheel set is a very classical aluminium wheel set from Fulcrum. If you would buy it on the open market, let's call it approximately 400 euros for this wheel set. And some of the highlights include that the total weight of the wheel set is approximately 1,760 grams. 24mm is the rim height, and internal rim width is 23mm. Hubs on the wheel set are from Fulcrum, so sealed cartridge bearings. I'm expecting it to be perfectly fine, and they had to kind of save a little bit of money somewhere, so that's why Cannondale used the classical aluminium Fulcrum Rapid Red 500 wheel set. Perfectly fine, I have no complaints here. It's always easy to upgrade in the future if you really want. This wheelset is wrapped in Vittoria Rubinho Pro tires, and I'm so glad that they've included a 30mm tire, both front and the back, a lot of air volume and a really smooth ride. And this is what you want on this endurance road bike. So top notch for the tires, and as I say, the wheelset just kind of average classical aluminium wheelset from Fulcrum, approximately 1,800 grams. When we speak about some other smaller components like the handlebar and the stem, so the handlebar is the FSA aluminium handlebar, and the stem is from the Cannondale's own aluminium stem. Perfectly fine in my opinion. I'm glad that both handlebar and the stem are separate pieces. There is no proprietary parts here. Easy to upgrade, easy to replace, super easy to adjust your position on the bike. Absolutely fine. Doesn't bother me that this is an aluminium pieces. As I say, if you really want to upgrade in the future, it's very easy. Seat post on the bike, of course, a Cannondale signature, which is the Cannondale's carbon fiber 27.2mm seat post, superb. And this seat post, of course, incorporates the radar system, the SmartSense, and also the lights on the back of the bike. And I forgot to mention that at the front you have the Cannondale's own wheel sensor, which of course works in conjunction with the SmartSense system. So as long as the front wheel is turning, immediately the lights will go off, the radar system will go on, and the lights will go on. So it's a very neat solution from Cannondale. So in a summary, what is my advice to you when we consider the retail price of $5,500 for this newest Cannondale Synapse Carbon 2 RLE? Well, I have to say that I would definitely suggest you to go ahead and seriously consider this bike. It is a bit of a novel thing on the market with this SmartSense system, so radar plus the lights plus this external battery, and of course the other components, which are a superb Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes and Shimano Ultegra semi-wireless electronic group set. So it's a very, very interesting offering from Cannondale and something definitely new and novel on the market. So definitely consider this bike. When it comes to the endurance and comfortable bikes, this is definitely one of the top-notch bikes out there. And yeah, the retail price is $5,500, but that's what you pay for a bit of novel and advanced systems on the bike. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe and hit that little like button. And as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!